Okay, so the issue we're going to address here is called peer pressure. But not any type of peer pressure. We're talking about negative peer pressure, which is persuading someone to do something that is not positive in any type of way, whether it goes against the law, their morals, or is negative towards another individual group. Negative peer pressure is never a good thing. It's trying to make someone do something that they don't want to do. And usually negative peer pressure is always a bad thing you're trying to make the person do. Very rarely is it anything positive. The effects of negative peer pressure is a huge change in a person's character. The way I've seen peer pressure affect someone that I am close with, I've lost many friends because I can no longer associate with them because of the poor choices they have made because of negative peer pressure. Also, negative peer pressure has changed a lot of my relationships in another way, to the point that I've seen friends who start in one area go into a whole another area based off negative peer pressure. A former friend I knew at my boxing gym got way too caught up in the street life based off of negative peer pressure from his peers and his community and his environment, and now he's so caught up in the street life that he's basically an official gangbanger. He's a part of that life that leads to only jail or death, and for that reason I can't associate with him to the same extent that I used to. Another effect of negative peer pressure is that the person who is feeling the pressure eventually loses a lot of their personal will. If someone falls victim to negative peer pressure constantly, then eventually they lose that personal will that helps them stand fortified in their own values and their own convictions.
If your child is being negatively influenced by friends, there are certain typical signs and symptoms that you might see. The first of these signs is a very sudden change in the child's behavior. Whenever there's a very dramatic change, then a negative peer pressure may be operating.
The solution to negative peer pressure is simply parents having more conversation with their kids and be prepared for it. A lot of kids fall victim to negative peer pressure because they never had those talks with their parents about what to do in that situation when you're being coerced into doing something bad and you know that it's wrong. So the best defense for negative peer pressure is preparation. So I really feel like the best solution to it is just parents or whoever the role model or guardian of the child is to have those talks with them about what to do in that situation, so that when that situation does arise, that child is already prepared for the outcomes of what will happen. He knows that he needs to say no, or he needs to separate himself from that group of individuals.
Huh. Yep, I know what you're thinking. This is my chance to talk to Charlie about peer pressure. And maybe you're thinking it won't work. The kids this age don't listen to their parents. But studies show that talking to your kids about it really does help them deal with it. So here goes. I'm going to try. I learned a couple of tricks back then for dealing with the pressure. I could tell you about them if you want. Okay, the first step is to recognize when you're being pressured.